Welcome to Behind Artistry, where we show you everything that goes into creating an episode on our art series here on YouTube. We'll be focusing on our recent episode with Tristan, a photographer and director based in Sydney. In this video, we'll show you the impact that planning in post-production can have on storytelling, how we use old photos to create this opening sequence, how we work with a music composer, and how that played a crucial role in finishing this film. My name is Andy Amanaki and I'm one of the founders here at Amanaki Studio. Let's do it. So we knew going into this episode we were going to have quite a bit of flexibility with Tristan being one of our mates and also being based in Sydney. This meant that scheduling wasn't going to be that hard for this episode. Because of this, we decided to build his story in post before shooting any of the other B-roll. So that meant that for day one it was going to be pretty simple. There's no parking in Marrickville, so we're just going to dump gear here and then ship it over. I'll make it look light, eh? On this we had Gabe running sound, Del gaffing.
My name is Delray and I'm helping out with lighting today and whatever else the boys need.
Beautiful.
No, it's just softbox.
Oh, sure, sorry. Scrap this.
And Josh running between camera and different departments.
All these just go on the side.
This goes here, that goes there. Oh, maybe it goes there.
As far as setups go, this is pretty straightforward. Find the most interesting frame that tells a story of the artist. For Tristan, I felt like using the paper roll just made sense and just adding a couple props that added to the story. Lighting for this was pretty simple. A single key light with the practical light from this softbox adding a hair light / edge light. This was our longest interview to date, spanning almost 2 hours, but what we got was a lot of variation that we could play with in post, which ended up being pretty crucial, because this is where the story was going to be built. Both Josh and I work side by side on this edit, which is made possible because of the systems we have in place to work on projects simultaneously. We're going to have a video on that coming soon.
Done. Let's have a look.
Once we had the initial story signed off from Tristan, it was time to build our different scenes that we wanted to shoot. His story was about his photography career, where it's taken him slowing down and refining his purpose as a photographer, and the work that excites him now. So on day 2, we wanted to cover off on these 2 main points: his career and his new direction.
It's sort of like just short-lived stuff, anything sort of hip-hop related that could be in the book sort of thing.
We use this top-down shot to give you a sense of his career overall. As you can see, the way the photos are organized are chaotic with no structure to emulate being on the go all the time. The setup for this was relatively simple for the most part, working with the natural light from these windows and just further extending this across the set. A further explanation on all of our lighting setups will be over on our Patreon if you want to check that out. The second part of this day was him exploring this new world of photography that's exciting him now, which we represented with these photos on the wall, structured and thought out to hopefully create a sense of calmness and balance. We also knew we wanted to record some sound bites to add some more natural moments to the episode, something we use across all of our episodes to help them feel more real. I think this also gives options after the interview's being completed to add a new direction or further explore an idea that may have came up in the interview. Funnily enough, for day 3, we joked about shooting some water stuff in discussions and actually found out a way that we could incorporate that into this film. The water representing his life as he's being bombarded by all the stimulus that life had to throw at him, but also there's a sense of rebirth in the latter half of the shots. I had talented DP Ryan Andrew Lee come out and shoot all the underwater portion for us. We had shot this all at about 6 AM, hoping to get some light beams like the reference that I had sent him. But the soil was actually really choppy, so clarity in the water wasn't great. But I'm actually happy with how chaotic it feels. And there is this moment where you are starting to feel that sun bleed through the water. And for me, it sort of felt like that rebirth of Tristan's career or the rebirth of where Tristan was heading. At this point, we had most of what we needed to pull together Tristan's episode. So what we actually ended up doing is going away with the material that we had, started laying it down on the timeline, and started to see the gaps that we had and how we wanted to fill them. What we soon came to realize is that we needed elements where Tristan is slowing down. And we also needed to somehow connect that to the underwater stuff that we just shot. So I came up with some mood boards to show Tristan with an idea of the direction that I wanted to head down, and then we ended up shooting day 4.
Today is day 4 for Tristan's episode. We're down at his place. and we're going to shoot a bathroom scene and I guess other stuff.
So in day 4, we just had all the different elements that we needed to pull this together. We had some stuff that we were going to shoot in his apartment to symbolize him slowing down, which we also tried to tie to the water stuff with all this stuff in the bathroom. I really like the play on reflection that we had throughout this scene, which further goes down that motif of reflection. And we also used this moment to connect between the water shots that we'd shot.
Do you have a shotgun on it, Andrew?
No.
Can I just put a shotgun?
No, do your own sound design.
This one sounds, so when I go to edit, I'm gonna have to make it up.
And then we shot him out on the street to represent the new direction that his work was taking.
We're in the city at the moment and the sun is going behind the buildings, so a lot of the shots we want to grab are through like corridors and stuff, and the sun is just slowly leaving us, so we might have to leave the city.
I think we'll just get you to walk across there, bro.
Yeah.
Literally across the shadow, and we'll just like try to pull focus to your shadow. I really like this shot, and this was all just done walking around the city with no real plan or direction, just trying to find moments that spoke to the sort of photography that he was exploring now. It's not quite street photography, and that was something that Tristan stressed. So we were trying to get this sort of abstract feeling, and hopefully it was able to be portrayed. After shooting this 4th day, we laid everything down the timeline. We felt like something was missing. We soon realized that we didn't have him shooting any actual portraits. So that's why we ended up adding day 5, where we set up a mock photo shoot with an artist that he's worked with before, Briggs. Now that all the production was done, it was time to bring it all together in post. At this point, we had example music tracks that were laid down, most of our B-roll down, and then notes for sections of the edit that were going to be covered by his archival material, stuff that Tristan had been shooting over his whole career. We knew that at the start, we wanted to have this heavily edited opening sequence, utilizing all the archival material that Tristan had gathered over the years. And I really wanted Josh to go in and play with different layers and techniques. But before he could go away and do that, we felt like that he needed the music track down so that he knew the exact vibe and the pacing that he needed to pull off the rest of this edit. So we wrote down all of our notes for the different music tracks that we wanted, and we sent it off to our music composer, Liam.
My name's Liam Thomas. I'm a composer, songwriter. Worked with some pretty cool artists around the world, like AK, T-Pain, Sublab. I think each scene, you can tell there's a different mood, and being able to create that mood in each scene is super important, because then it makes the video feel like a movie rather than just a video. I think my favorite one was the DMX part, because it was almost like not a DMX beat, but it was, because it had all of the dirty scratches and like that kind of stuff, but it wasn't as aggressive as you intended DMX song to be. But I think that was a really cool balance where I made it super hardcore, but also like really chill out DMX vibe.
Now with that done, Josh was able to move ahead with creating our opening sequence. Overall, really happy where we landed on this episode. Definitely was an interesting experience curating each scene for each part of his story, as opposed to shooting both side by side or all in one day as we do on most of our client shoots. What I feel this gives to the episode is a more considered approach to Tristan's story. Let us know if you think it was worth it. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments below what you thought about our process on this one. And we'll see you in the next one.